Hey, what's up folks? It's Jang here from ultimaterc.com with another kind of behind the scenes video showing you a little bit of what goes on with URC that you don't normally see. This time we're looking at my Stack O batteries. This is the majority of my battery packs, not all of them, but nearly all of them that I use for my RC stuff, not including my rechargeable AA batteries and alkalins and other little support stuff like that. But this is most of my current rechargeables. I've probably got a vehicle or two around with a battery in one of them or a couple of them or something. So this is definitely not every single battery, but it's the majority. And I thought about before doing this video kind of sorting these out into different piles and stuff, but you know what, I'm just gonna dive right into it. There's a lot of different stuff here. Most of these were just dumped right out of the produce bin from my refrigerator. I dedicate one of the produce bins to the storage of LiPo batteries because as I learned through the URC forums, temperature is the most important thing for maintaining the lifespan of LiPo batteries. You can actually leave them with charge in them, and if you keep them cool, they will deteriorate at a far more gentle rate than if you keep them with minimal charge in them and you let them be exposed to summertime temperatures and such. So I keep them in my refrigerator, and here's what we've got for now. I will try to kind of pair some things together when I do have pairs or multiples of the same thing. So first off, just starting from the top of the pile, these are my Genzace 3800 3-cell packs. These are soft, basically soft case packs, 3S1P, and these are the packs that I use for double, basically for 6S use in vehicles that can handle 6S. And these have not been used a lot yet, but I've used them in my Revo, I've used them in my Savage, and I'm going to use them in at least one other vehicle that I have presently. I've had these for a while, haven't used them a lot. I just swapped out the leads for Deans because they come with those funky 4mm polarized bullet ones like this, but seem like pretty good packs so far. So I'll go ahead and throw these back into the bin for now. Let's see, here's another pair. I'm just going to go from the top down. These actually came from my Exceed RC Mad Fire. Yeah, the Mad Fire EP electric 1/8 scale buggy that was total crap. I threw away most of the things from that buggy because it was crap. But these I kept because they're okay, and especially considering the fact that, I mean, they are LiPos, they do work. I have used both of these quite a bit in a number of videos, and anything that I get that actually has these connectors on them, I just go ahead and use these rather than cutting these off, putting Deans on them, and then using adapters back and forth. It's easier to just go with this. So Red Cat and Hobby King and Hobby Parts, or Exceed Nitro RCX stuff often will have these sorts of connectors on them, so this just makes it more convenient for me. Plus I also use these as backup packs for my Exceed 4S powered 1/8 scale on-road, that Mad Drift car that I've tested, because these are basically the same thing that comes with, and it needs duals of those. Speaking of which, oh yeah, here they are. Let me just get these out of the way while I'm on that topic. These are the ones that came with that super Mad Drift car. Again, not great packs, 3300 20C, but they definitely do the job, and it's actually surprising how much enjoyment and how much speed and just general RC goodness you can get out of some of these lighter, cheaper packs that you would think are total crap, but they're actually not, depending upon, just as long as you match a pack well to your application. Next up, here's a Venom. This was my first 4-cell battery pack ever. This is a Venom 5000 milliamp hour. It's rated at 35C. I originally got this to run in my RC8E, and it has been run quite a bit in that one. I didn't didn't record how many charges this thing has been through, but it has held up pretty well so far. Hasn't got a whole lot of use because I haven't done a whole lot of 4S stuff, but it's been decent. And then this is my second ever 4S hard case pack, Genzace 5000 40C. It's basically these packs times 2 is what you'll find inside of there. Big old pack. Case has separated on me, and I just use strapping tape to kind of try to keep it in place. But another good pack, and it was very cheap. That one was 66 bucks. I think it was probably cost about half as much as that Venom pack, and performs just as well. And speaking of the 5000s, I've got a few of my 5000s here, and I think these are the ones that I have right now. I've marked the number of cycles on the back of these. So this one's had 28 cycles, this one 23 cycles. This one's relatively new. This one's only had 13 cycles on it. This is the more recent one that I got to compare just to see how well these were doing when I started to hear more folks having failures or having too little capacity coming out of their Genzace 5000 40C packs. But they've all performed about the same, and these have held up pretty well so far. This was a direct connect one, and then these are the terminal versions. I always used to like the batteries that had the terminals, removable terminals, but I'm starting to like this style a little bit more, especially when they do the ends right, where you can actually go out this way, or you can send your wire out towards the end or straight up. Just seems to be more convenient, and you don't have to worry about cleaning out those terminals every once in a while as they start to corrode and get all the little surface powder and stuff on them. Here's another Genzace. This is a 5800 that it's only got four cycles on it. This one actually has just entered into testing. I've got to do a lot more with this one. I've got a bunch of batteries actually that need to be tested yet, or that I've done discharge graphs on, but I haven't done the field testing with them yet. For instance, this one is Zippy 5700 milliamp hour 50C, another 2-cell hard case pack, another real cheap one. I'm looking forward to seeing how well this works out. I've also done the discharge graph on this, and I'll be comparing it to some other popular packs. Still trying to go from the top. This is the 6.6 amp hour or 6600 milliamp hour 65C Turnigy Nanotech. This one is brand new, hasn't had a single charge put through it yet, so this one has not had its discharge graph done just yet. A relatively recent addition to the collection. Speaking of additions to the collection, I actually recently sold off four lipos, and also I think three NIMs. So I've been downsizing a little bit. At the same time, I've been upsizing and getting new stuff like that Nanotech pack. This one looks like it's pretty high. And what's going on here? Oh, the case started to separate a little bit here, as they tend to do from time to time. Just wasn't glued that well, looks like. It's interesting to see that this is a 2S2P. I didn't even realize that. Does it say it? Doesn't say it, but yeah, 2S2P. You can see there's 4 cells in there. But I'll glue that back with CA glue. It doesn't feel like it's puffed at all. The 6000 milliamp hour 50C, again 7.4 volts hard case pack. I did a full review on this one, GeForce pack from valuehobby.com. Better value than the Genzace packs that I've been using for a long time. Gives you similar performance and more runtime. Here's another one that I have not put a single charge through yet. This one is a recent addition, a Zippy 6000 50C. So this one will be compared directly against the higher milliamp hour, higher discharge rate batteries. We'll see how that one works out. This is the Traxxas Power Cell pack. I've now had 13 charges through this one. I did a full review on this guy. This is the most powerful Traxxas 2-cell pack that's in a standard size that they sell, and I keep one of these to have something lipo with with the Traxxas style connector on it. It's just more convenient and a little more legit to use an actual, especially in Traxxas vehicles, I'll use their actual pack because it already has the connector on it. It's just, you know, I really don't like having to use adapters on power stuff very often, although I do have quite a lot of adapters for everything, but I prefer not to use them. Moving on, this was my third ever 3S pack. I actually had three Max A something, no, I had two Max A something brand packs before, including my very first LiPo. Both of those puffed from just regular use, and then this one came in quite a bit later on as a replacement for it. I have not used this one a whole lot, but it has been subject to a fair amount of experimentation with my crawler or slower vehicles. I think I've used this one in Wrath, the Axial Wraith. I tried it out in Chimera A, Chimera B. Anytime when I was going with lower KV or lower gearing and wanted to still get some wheel speed, I'd throw in a 3S pack, and this is what I use for that general use. 3400 30C. It's necessary to have a smaller pack, lower capacity, in order to fit 3S into a hard case pack within this size. So the Genzace, I'll just pull back out, the Genzace 3S pack here is the same size, actually just a tiny bit thicker, but close to the same size, but it's a 3800 compared to this 3400 because this one doesn't have to worry about the size of the hard case. So this one's able to take up that space with more pure LiPo paste instead. But both of these have done just fine for my needs. Moving on, next thing on top, here's another Genzace pack. This is going to be used in a future test of, you can probably figure out what it's going to be for, 2500 milliamp hour, 25C 4S 1P. That's 4 cells in series right there, and in a standard, you know, hard case LiPo form factor. So again, you can probably figure out what that's going to be used for, and I will just move on. Next thing up here, this is a Turnigy Nanotech 2200 milliamp hour 25C. What is this? This is a 3-cell. This is a 3-cell pack, and this is for aircraft use, I believe. I think that's what I got this for. Yeah, just to have a 2200 or 2000 milliamp hour range of 3S pack for various aircraft as I get them in or as I build them up. Similarly, this was in the same vein, an old blue LiPo 1800 milliamp hour 15C pack that I got when I first, actually I've got two of these that I got when I first started thinking about going into the aircraft world, just to have something in that range. At that time, I got these, I think, when I was just making a hobby parts order and was thinking about aircraft, and threw these in there. Later got this guy just in case I needed something with a little bit more oomph to it, a little bit more power for a slightly larger or faster planes. But so far, these have been used. This one hasn't been used at all yet. These have been used in a couple of experiments, including my little tank, brushless tank experiment, and one of these was also used as a transmitter pack in my Airtronics RDS 8000 radio transmitter, the aircraft transmitter that I used for my Yak 54. Made a great receiver or transmitter pack for that one. I was happy to have it. Really tight fit, but it did work. Here's a Genzace 2200 milliamp hour 25C 2-cell pack, and this will fit right into a Traxxas 1/16th scale vehicle, and that's why I put a Traxxas lead on it, because it's pretty much only going to be used for those, for the Mini Revo or you know, Mini whatever, using that same platform. This does fit in there. They actually sold this as an airsoft pack. It came with a mini Molex connector, so I was quick to take that off and replace it. Speaking of packs for the Traxxas Minis, that's what I got these for originally when I I was just making a hobby parts order, and I wanted to throw in, not a hobby parts, a Hobby King order, and I wanted to throw in some packs, some lipo packs to use for the Mini, the Traxxas Mini series. And then I got these because they were the biggest things that they had that were in stock that would fit into those battery compartments. These are 1800s. Obviously, you can get a 2200 in this general size. I think it's the Nanotechs have a 22. The Turnigy Nanotech series has a 2200 milliamp hour battery that will fit well into that battery compartment. But these are close enough, and they end up being super thin with plenty of room to spare. So I think they'll still do the job also for the Traxxas Mini Craft. It looks like this one's the next highest up thing. This is a 2200 milliamp hour low discharge 8C. This is a transmitter pack. You can see the discharge lead on it. This is the pack that I used most recently in my last land transmitter, which was the Airtronics, I want to say MX3FG or MXFG, one of those. MX, I think, I don't remember if they kept the 3 in it, but the sport, the highest end sport level transmitter they had before the MX3X. And this was the transmitter pack that I used in there. I no longer use that transmitter. I do still have it as a backup, but I no longer use it. This worked great. I would get, you know, a week or two of use on a single charge from this guy. Now I'm using the MT4 transmitter, which actually uses a 2-cell pack instead of the 3-cell pack. So that one's just free for aircraft use, I guess. This is a crawler pack, at least that's what I got it for. It can also be used in aircraft and all other things too. It's a 3-cell, 1300 milliamp hour Turnigy, regular blue soft case Turnigys that have been really, really, really reliable for most folks, regardless of size or configuration. And I got this one specifically for a backup for my G-Made R1 rock crawler, rock racer, and I do still currently use this. I do have one other pack, which I just realized is still in that vehicle. It's a Thunder Power. I believe it's a 1250 milliamp hour, probably 30C, something in that range. A little bit smaller pack than this, interestingly enough, but that's the one that's currently in there, and it has a black soft shell to it. So I leave it in there because it's smaller and it is black, so it doesn't show up as much. But if I'm ever out in the field with the R1, I do bring this with me also, just in case I run for an hour or more, which is about what it takes to run down one of these little packs in a crawler, because the torque or the amperage usage is very, very low. I'll bring that guy with me just as a backup. I said I was going to go from the top to the bottom. Looks like this is the highest thing that's remaining. This is the Turnigy Nanotech 6065C 2-cell hard case pack. This one's had 4 charges through it. It has had its discharge graphs taken, but it has not been field tested properly yet. So this one goes into the review queue as of the time of this video. It's still there waiting for me to get a vehicle ready for it again. And here's another that's in that same range of waiting and needing use. This thing is actually getting beat up a little bit. I need to move these protective little bits of heat shrink back in place to make sure that they're protecting the main discharge wires from being chafed. I'll probably have to spend some time on that off camera, but for now, a Track Power 6800 milliamp hour 70C pack. This was a $100 pack, and I got this to test it. You see it's been through six charges through so far. I have done the discharge graph on it. I have started field testing it, but it needs a lot more field testing, back-to-back testing against other packs to show everybody finally, objectively as well as subjectively, the real difference between getting a budget pack like the Gens Ace or the Turnigys or the G-Force compared to a proper racing pack, not something with overblown, crazy, ridiculous marketing numbers, but a true top quality, real racing pack with high capacity and high discharge. So quality cells, the real deal. So we'll be seeing how well that works out, and if it turns out that the higher quality packs really are worth the money when you're looking at the real deals. So that's also in the queue for review. Leaves me down to just a handful more. These are just some Traxxas, 7-cell nickel metal hydrides for use in the Traxxas monster trucks, as well as the Traxxas 2-wheel drive Slash, anything with the 7-cell battery compartments, the 8.4 volt NIMS. These are decent packs. They do need to be charged right before you use them, otherwise you can't charge them the night before and then go use it, because you'll lose so much power. But I do try to keep at least one set of these on hand at all times, so that I can do my true stock driving of out of the box performance demonstrations for the Traxxas vehicles that would use these. I also believe I should have a hump pack version of these, a shorter, that's the length of a 6-cell, but with the extra 7th cell in the middle for use in these shorter wheelbase vehicles like the Rustler and the Bandit. I think I've still got one of those on hand. I sold off 3 of them, but I should have at least one. So that leaves us down to, let's see which of these is higher. Obviously this one right here. This is a zippy 700, not 7,000, 700 milliamp hour, 5C 6.6 volt Li-Fi. This is a lithium iron phosphate battery pack, and this is one of 2 that I purchased for use in my little Megatech H2O Pro boat, the little short little thing, little 10-inch long kind of hobby grade RC boat that I have. And I got 2 of these to replace a big old 5-cell AAA rechargeable nickel metal hydride pack that was like a 600 milliamp hour, maybe 700 or 800 milliamp hour, but you could only use a fraction of that before it would get too low in voltage. It's a much better pack, weighs almost nothing by comparison, pushes that boat around with no problem, much faster than the NIM, even though it's just a tiny little thing. But not a high discharge pack, but useful for small things that want roughly 6 volts of output. And then the last thing in this box, I don't know why it's here, but this was just an extra little battery pack that I had. This was a 1-cell 3.7 volt single cell LiPo. This is a 3200, or not 3200, I always put 100 on the end of every LiPo automatically, but this is a 320 milliamp hour battery that came with my eSky Mini, I don't remember the exact name of it, but I did a review of a coaxial mini-sized, eSky Nano, I think it's called, Nano or Nano CX. It's a coaxial, really small-sized 4-channel helicopter that I did a full review on. The helicopter was pretty much crap. I hated it. There's so many things wrong with it, but the battery was not one of them. Actually, the battery was not strong enough for that craft. This actually does hold the milliamp hour rating appropriately when I bench tested it, but it just wasn't sufficient for that particular helicopter. So I threw away the helicopter and kept the LiPo just in case I have a need for a small 1-cell pack for, I don't know, some sort of small aircraft in the future, some little scratch build or something. So that was a long video to get through just my batteries, and like I said, it wasn't all of them, but it was most of them, of the batteries that I use for all of my stuff that I use and or will use for URC. Most of it has already been used in the past, but as you saw, a nice little handful of things remain to be tested, and you will be seeing results of those those tests once they are done and once they're available. So stay tuned for those. Thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button on this video if you liked the video and you want to see more, or if you didn't like the video, you don't want to see more of these behind the scene things, please do hit thumbs down. Either way, whether you hit thumbs up or thumbs down, doesn't matter to me. Both help me out. The feedback helps to promote the videos. They call it user engagement, so I appreciate it either way. And I hope to see you guys on the friendly forums at ultimaterc.com. I'll be talking to you again soon. Bye for now.